Welcome to our official coverage of the last bowl game for this current NCBB season, season 36. Last but not least, we have the penultimate McNurgles Chumpionshit game, I guess. Basically, the McNurgles is a consolation bowl for the worst two teams in the league, except this season we decided to make it the four worst teams. Except it was a reverse playoff to where the losers of the two semifinal games would advance to this game, the penultimate championship game, for essentially the title of the biggest loser. So if you lose this game, you cannot live down that shame, perhaps ever. But we were spoiled to have a rematch, or rather just a rivalry match between Army and Navy. So the Grunts of Army, coached by Tim R., the Navy Mid-Skeleton Men, coached by Einir, Kemri, Orcs. It's going to be a sloppy game, a silly game, and hopefully a lot of fun. We got the Orcs by Army kicking, Kemri on offense, which is not really their forte, but it's not like defense is really their forte either. We have one inducement is a dirty trick for the Kemri. Pretty solid line of bobs, but I still don't think putting them on the line of scrimmage is the optimal way to go here. You're just taking two more blocks in theory than you would normally. Not that the Kemri have a ton of guard. They have a guard sidestep lino. And they have no guard on the mummies. They've got one with block, one with strength 6, and another with block. So very capable of knocking down this wall. Probably would have been best to put the troll and two linos instead of the bobs, but we'll see if it comes back to haunt them. Sweltering heat could affect things as both teams go into the half if there's no touchdown, or after the first touchdown. Most people would expect the over-under on this game to be like, if you say 1.5 combined touchdowns, I think a lot of people would go under. And yes, this is very fitting weather for Nehekara and wherever else Kemri live. Live being, not the literal sense. But unfortunately for them, sweltering heat does affect their players somehow. Einir opening the game with a block by a mummy that does not have block, of course. And correct, Einir is right when he points out this is technically not the penultimate game, because penultimate implies the one before the final. This is the final game of the penultimate McNurgles Bowl series. Alright, and there's a knockout on a bob. Perhaps a reason why you shouldn't have put 5 players on the line of scrimmage. It's just you're giving up 2 extra blocks when you don't have to be. If Einir wanted to, he could have gone for a very nice gang foul on this bob as well. I don't think he is a dirty player, but it's just a skeleton. You're not going to lose a whole lot. There's a very nice pickup by an average throw raw at best. Oh, sorry. Anointed thrower is what they're called now. Block, kickoff, return, fend. I like this one, though. Chris Proctor the 4th. He is dinged up a bit, but movement 7, tackle, block. Very solid player. We are going for the foul, except we're doing it on the troll. You do knock him out, but you also get caught. And even if you did hurt him, he has regeneration. So I would have, on the last block with the skeleton, pushed this line Black Orc down, and then you still have the same number of assists for the foul. But he doesn't have regeneration, so probably a bit better. Still, 2 out for Army, a Bob and a Troll. Going to be very difficult for him to match up with the mummies of Navy. A power gamer. I mean, I think it just makes sense. We've talked a lot about commentary about people focusing on the tree. No, Navy doesn't do math. I would say most students at our colleges aren't good at math. But people that focus on the tree when you're playing against Wood Elves, it's like, yes, foul the AV10 tree. That's exactly what the Wood Elf coach wants. Or foul the regen troll. I mean, if you're fouling that instead of the bob or something else, it's not, probably not the best play. And here, Tim, with the splits, if he came around from the backside and blitz this way and push this lino into the other players, if you do get a push like you did, you generate an extra block, an extra chance to knock him down. So instead, you don't get a knockdown. You've only thrown one block this turn on your blitz, and you're leaving him in contact. Granted, you're not that worried about it since it's a skeleton, but still, it's a free block that you're giving up that you don't need to. Freshman making a hieroglyphic joke. I get it. It took me a second. I mean, Navy does go way back. One of the original NCBB teams back from Season 1 in the Dark Ages when the commissioner didn't know what he was doing. Started the league, started the first season, and just did an open round robin play for the entire league, and then his internet died 2 days later, and luckily other coaches were able to run the league for the first couple seasons. That's why Navy has a couple players from way back in the day with 60 and 80 games played somehow, because seasons were a little more complicated back then. Alright, Kimry in a good position here. They've got pretty nice cage with 3 mummies, so you don't want to mark that. Knock down 1 Orc Blitzer. They've got another one double marked, so they would take a very big commitment to generate a block here. More likely he'll just try to dodge away. The Lost Navy Files. Yeah, freshman, you had to put in a lot of work to hunt down those old numbers, or owls and snake eyes and whatever other hieroglyphics they used. Good blitz here by the Bob. That's a sidestep guard skeleton, but he's only AV7. Unfortunately, you only roll 6, but that'd be a very juicy target to try to take out. Also, welcome to the listening booth, Dutch freshman Zeterog. I know Zeterog has had the pleasure of playing Navy pretty consistently. Freshman, I suppose, is in the same conference as well. Dutch with his Norse in the FBC, so I'm not sure you've had the pleasure, but it'd be a fun matchup. Mummies and Norse. A lot of AV7 on that field. Orcs here looking like they're going to try to press the issue. They are down 1 player, but they're mummy marking. They've got a Bob on the ball. He's throwing a 1 die. When you have a 2 die available, if you just move this lino over, but maybe you don't want to commit resources to the bottom part of the field when you need to focus on stopping them up top. Depends where Tim ends his... Oh, he went for the foul in the tackle zone. Interesting. Well, that didn't work out how he wanted to, I imagine. Einir starting another turn with a blockless mummy block. Classic Navy. But you do generate an extra block here with Tomb Guardian that does have block. Gets a double POW. Ball carrier's free, and I don't think you need to go north here. I mean, you're not fast enough to get away from the orcs. There is an agility 4 tackler here. Not that tackle matters against the ball carrier. Yes, Tomb Guardian is what they're officially called now, but I'm not sure that term even makes sense. Like, well, I don't know. I guess if it's your tomb, you would be pretty, determined to guard it from pillagers and all that other fun stuff. But I don't know. Mummy just makes so much more sense. So instead, they go down the middle, and they should be able to complete the screen, really. Okay. So, if Tim wants to make a play here... Also, I just realized he took break tackle on this orc blitzer. Which, not sure is a good idea. Is break tackle good on strength 3 players in the new rule set? I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. But regardless, we're still in Blood Bowl 2016, so for now I'm going to shake my head at that, but I'm not sure I'd negative 2 die here. I think your best bet... I mean, you do have a 1 die here if you want it. Stand up the black orc. Block with this one, but you don't have block. I don't know. I don't like it. I'd probably just blitz the anointed thrower here. Tag the ball with tackle and your good blitzer. Then well, he has agility 2. Basically, there's nothing you can do to tag this Tomb Guardian and blitz that guy and tag the ball. Realistically, I mean, sure, you could make the dodge out back here, but not blitzing, so that means he's blitzing through the mummy here, most likely, right? Okay, Zedarug's pointing out that it's +1 if you're lower than strength 4. Interesting. Oh no, he's about to dodge with a bomb. Okay, he changed his mind. He's blitzing with it instead. Nope, he changed his mind again. Indecisiveness in the Chumpionshit game. And he makes the 4+ dodge. Okay, I mean, 50-50. Chooses not to mark the mummy. Which, there's pros and cons to doing it. And then there's a lot of cons to GFIing there. I mean, sure, you could have rolled better and not snaked it, but all you would have done is position yourself. Here, you weren't tagging the ball. I don't think you were setting up for some kind of fancy play, so I'm not sure what you gained by GFIing there. Regardless, didn't make it. Now the ball's downfield. And I'm not sure Khemri have ever had the ball this far downfield on turn 4 before. This might be a first for Navy, if we're being honest. Ah, a nice injury there on the Orc Lino by Pierce Banbury. 11 SPPs now. 1 MVP away from potentially getting block or just another solid skill. This team desperately needs some guard. I mean, it's bad that you don't have a single Tomb Guardian with 1. Also, out of all the changes in the new rule set, I think taking away the choice of your 3 MVPs is my least favorite. Because I love team building, and being able to plan, like, okay, if I get this guy a completion, and this guy a touchdown, and this guy can get the MVP, that's 3 skills for the next game, and then the team looks so much better after just 1 game if it goes right. I enjoy that part of Blood Bowl a lot. But now, I mean, maybe it makes more sense with the way skills are now and everything else. That's his blitz action, but he can't even reach the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He couldn't reach it no matter what he did, so I'm not sure that's what he really wanted to do there. But regardless, fails another GFI, knocks himself out. Yeah, Zetorag. For lizards especially, since I played them a lot, it's a blessing. I mean, that I can't tell you how many lizard teams I had where, for whatever reason, the skinks just always got the MVPs, and I'd have 3 with 2 skills, and I'd have 1 block Saurus, and I'm like, this is awful. My TV goes up, and my team is getting worse. Double skulls here. You don't really want to burn that reroll, and you don't need to based on how dominant your position is, but don't worry about Kazark. Technically, it was the penultimate McNurgles Championship series between the 4 teams, and so I just kept the penultimate, even though this is the ultimate game, not the penultimate. Plus, it just looks cool. I mean, penultimate is like a dope word to describe something. It's never going to be top. I mean, that's fair. Also, how did I not notice this guy earlier? Skull and Crossbone Bonies 4, the 4th. Plus Strength, Tackle, Mighty Blow. That's a pretty good player. I don't know, this Navy team, I know they graduated 4 mummies after last season, and so, you know, if you slap guard on Pierce and you get block on Brandon eventually, or, I mean, guard even on his next one. And then Michael, you slap guard on him. I mean, this team could be, I'm not going to say good, because it's A, Kemery, and B, Navy, but, you know, they won 5 games last season, and they knocked off the #1 team in TCU at the time. We have that recorded for all time and in video form on my YouTube page. It was a glorious game. Still recovering from. Yeah, I mean, TCU psyche must be dinged a little bit from that. I mean, Einer still mentions from time to time yes, here comes the break tackle indeed. He still mentions the bowl game he beat me in back in season 5, which, considering that we're in season 36, was a long time ago. But, you know, a win's a win. No go on that dodge, but ball carrier is marked. We'll see if Einer can go for like a sexy surf attempt here, which you just blocked off. Hopefully an accident, but I mean, granted, yeah, if you cover that, then blitz him there, you could push him there. That's fine, yeah. So, I was wrong. Didn't block off the surf. Maybe he knows what he's doing sometimes. Not sure you need to leave that position. There's really no orcs. I mean, it doesn't matter where you put the ball. You're safe this turn. So, Army sits on their butts. Navy walks into the end zone, gets a touchdown. We've got 4 orcs out. 2 KO rolls failed. And then as far as the heat goes, orcs are unaffected, but Navy loses 2 mummies for all of 1 turn. Probably put some sacrificial lambs on the line. How's he affected by the heat? I mean, bones are not impervious to heat, I guess. I don't know. Lore wise, Khemri are from or in Nehekara. It's a giant desert. There's not much there. They should be used to it by now, right? Tim, I'm not sure the victory is guaranteed for Navy at this point. You still got a second half. You get the ball. You do have a gobo toss here if the troll was not knocked out, but I mean, you could get a clock turn back from a riot here. You could potentially chain push. I mean, you only have movement 6, so it'd be extremely difficult. But I suppose it's feasible. Just block. I mean, yeah, I mean, the most likely course of action is you block the line of scrimmage, hurt a skeleton or two. Yeah, increase your blocks. It's going to help. But second half, you get one of your two back that's knocked out. You'll have 11. You have the ball. You go down, you score. Navy's generally not good in offense, and so either you can, force a turnover and score late in the half, or it goes to overtime and you do something there. The weather changes, so, that's good. As far as Tim's team goes moving forward, I don't think any of them are seniors. I think this might be his third season. So you've got a thrower with agility 4 block and safe throw for some reason, but he has a niggling injury, so I'm not sure if you want to keep him. And then you're GFIing. Well, I mean, you get a completion there, so he gets a skill. So that's one skill. If you get a casualty and MVP on this Black Orc, Corporal Ballistic, there's another one who's 1 SPP away. There's a guy who's 3 away, but he is minus AG. I mean, you slap guard on him, he's fine, but probably want to replace him if you can. He's fouling with the ball. Love it. The ref doesn't, though. He hates it. And now that you've only gotten one of the KOs back, you're back down to 10 players. Unfortunate. Yeah, shouldn't rolling doubles on both the armor and the injury, counterbalance, like a positive and a negative? Like the ref's like, hey, you broke one, you get tossed out. Hey, you broke both, you're good. I don't know. Could be interesting. Alright. We got all the Khemri except for the guy who got banned. We're missing a couple orcs, including the 2 that got banned. This KO staying out is very detrimental. That's his best player. But, I don't know. You got a thrower here. I'm not sure what he would take on him next. I mean, he's kind of like an actual thrower, so accurate's fine. Maybe kickoff return if you want to keep him. You toss guard on this Bob. You toss block on this one. I don't know. Team can perhaps do better next season. Roto, I would play the long game. You have overtime, and the Khemri are, for the most part, AV7. Yeah, I mean, overtime only happens in league playoff games, or fumble cup games and all that fun stuff. But for people who just play league, or rather just play ranked and box, like you never have overtime unless you're in those big tournaments. So it definitely changes things. Yeah, if there's a question in the chat about the Gobo toss at the end of the half, the troll was KO'd at the time, but he's back now. Is it somebody's birthday? I know it's Fumble's birthday, actually. January 3rd. Although technically, I suppose in Europe it's about to be January 4th in some places. But for those of us on this side of the ocean, still the 3rd, so happy birthday, Fumble. Remember, there used to be special events on this day way back when. Sometimes you got a item out of it, or there was a day where everyone got like free zombies or something. Basically loners before we had loners. Oh, it's Einar's birthday too. That's cool. Making time to play Blood Bowl on his birthday. That's a man we can respect. And we're back to sweltering heat. I don't think I've ever seen a game where the weather has changed like 3 times to different weather patterns. Like it's gone from like rain to sun to heat, for example, in one game. That'd be a little interesting. Probably not as much if you're a strength-based team and then it's raining and then all of a sudden it's a blizzard and it's very hard for you to score, but we'll see. That's true, because Ark makes a good point. If he can knock out some skeletons here and get the numbers game and then get a touchdown, and then the Heat keep some mid-skeleton men out for the rest of the second half or overtime, could be a deciding factor. I remember there was one bowl game for Cal back, probably back in like season 7 or 9 or something, way back when, playing against it was either an Amazon team or a human team, and it was a close game, tough game, and could have gone either way. Somebody scores, and then sweltering heat takes out like 4 of my Sorai, 3 or 4, and a good portion of my team. And at that point, it was like, well, I don't have the resources I need to win this game. And there goes another skeleton, Mr. Deadmaw the Third. Weather Mages coming for Blood Bowl 2020. Interesting. Going for the pickup and the handoff to the Gobo. I mean, I would throw these blocks before I would throw the Gobo. But he's not. He's going for the big play. The big yeet, as it were. And the troll is not very smart. Does use the reroll. Then is a bit smarter, but then he's hungry, but the Gobo escapes, so what a sequence. Give him the old nom 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 nom. But alas, the Gobo survives. Yeah, I mean, technically a wasted reroll, but he has 5, which is a lot, but I guess when you're in the second half of a game that has overtime, you want to save as many of those as possible. Yeah, I mean, we could definitely use somebody in the booth for color commentary. We gotta liven this thing up a little bit. It's a silly game. We kind of expected that in the Penultimate McNurgles Championship series. These teams were not very good, and sometimes their play isn't very good either. But it's always interesting. Zark advising to move guys up from the back. That makes sense. You complete the cage up here. Not that you're worried about Kemri coming around for the blitz, but I mean, I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. If you're willing to risk a dodge with dodge, I mean, technically you could, but still, it's better to complete the cage than to not do so. McNurgles giving Kazark aneurysms. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. That's an interesting spot for the mummy. Is he going for the chain push? If you do blitz the bop here with the mummy, and you push the troll away from the gobo, you can prevent the initial throw teammate. Not that you don't want that as Navy. I think you'd be okay with that. A, it's most likely going to fail. B, even if he does get him downfield and scores, it's not the worst situation. That was not a great situation, rolling both downs with your mummy blitz. So it doesn't go for the chain push. He's locked up all along the line of scrimmage. And that's not great, I would say. Now, having 2 deep safeties is fine, but it's a pretty easy reversal here. You need 2 assists to clear this mummy, and then you have the bottom part of the field essentially free. We've got a block there on a blodger. So I probably, well, I mean, following is fine. But let's move the ball first. Move the 2 assists down. Block the mummy, and then see what we can do next. Oh, he's just going to try to throw the damn thing. Aren't there negative modifiers for being in tackle zones? Yeah. Yep. Burning a reroll again. Alright. I'm not sure a COVID protocol joke works unless the team you're playing against is Nurgle. Then it's just more thematic. But regardless, Troll doesn't do his job there either. Unless his job is to eat rerolls, which he's doing a very fine job at that. If anybody is watching this game and is trying to learn Blood Bowl, the Gobo Toss in general is a last resort play for emergencies, or did he just dodge with a Black Orc? Yes, he did. Then he threw a 1-die block when he doesn't have a reroll left. Which you should follow, yeah. But yeah, Gobo Toss, not a primary or even secondary option in the Orc playbook, if Orcs even had books they could read, but certainly not something you should be doing on turn 1 or turn 2 of the second half in a 0-1 game. This is a situation where you take the ball, slowly move it downfield, knock out some skeletons, score late in the half most likely, and go to overtime. Apparently Tim having some latency issues. I mean, freshmen, you could surprise Navy with the Gobo Yeet as much as you want. I don't think they would mind you burning rerolls on failed attempts, or the guy crashing, or the troll eating the goblin like a snack, or any of the things that could go wrong. And I suppose if you do get the lucky toss and he lands on his feet and he runs into the end zone and they score, and then the heat strikes and you have like no skeletons for your offensive drive, yeah, it could lose you the game. But the odds are the Gobo Toss is going to hurt Army more than it's going to help. And plus you kind of lose the element of surprise when you try it the second turn after you failed it the first turn. I mean, Einir does have 2 safeties back here, albeit with a gap, which he should probably have closed off. Just to force a dodge with tackle. Ball does get reversed downfield to the pretty solid and interesting orc thrower. One die doesn't go the way of the black orc there. I am interested to see how orcs play in the new rule set. It's not a race that I have played a lot of, and I do not enjoy playing against them, to say the least, but Blood Bowl 2020 sees the roster change a bit. They've got, where are they? Orcs. Movement 5 blockers now. The big unblockers. Movement 5. But the mass animosity is interesting. Not that orcs usually switch ball carriers mid-drive that often, but certainly an interesting change to the team. Also, 0 to 4 goblins. I don't think it was like that previously. Oh, it is. I didn't realize you could carry 4 goblins. Not that you probably should. I don't think Khemri have any changes in the new rule set. Let me check. Khemri. What are they called now? Tomb Kings. Skeleton, Throwers 2, Blitzers 2, 4 Tomb Guardians. Okay, Regeneration, Strength. They look pretty much the same. I'm sure there's something here that's different that I'm not familiar with. Again, I played Khemri probably like 3 times. More Thick Skull for Khemri? Okay. Skellies have it. Throwers have it. Blitzers have it. Okay. It's better than nothing. Alright. Khemri sending a lot of their defense south now, so we'll see if Tim goes a different direction. Einir somehow got a Tomb Guardian on the thrower when I wasn't watching. Probably don't need to waste time committing 2 to 3 players to throw a block here. Just take the 2+ dodge and get out. Let's see, but where can you end up that's not, you know, within range? Do you just have to go backwards here? Also, I would have stood up the troll before you... Also, that's a terrible follow. Yeah, A, should have stood up the troll while you had someone next to him for really stupid. B, it's almost never good to follow into a Tomb Guardian. You want to try to avoid them as much as possible. There's times, certainly, where you want to mark them with some cheap fodder, but oh my god, he just threw the ball to the orc. Blitzer. Orc passing game, baby. Going back up north, failing in GFI. GFI has not been kind to Army this day. And that's, yeah, quick throw the passes before they have animosity. It's a fair point. It's not a great spot for the ball, because this is a pretty easy... Well, you don't have guard here, so you block with the mummy. Sorry, Tomb Guardian. And then you follow, and then you have a shot on the ball. Well, now, does that change things? Yeah, you just take the block with the blitzer, and then you have a 2D on the ball with your Strength 6 Tomb Guardian. There's certainly times, as you learn Blood Bolt, where you just put the ball somewhere, and it's something that I'm still very bad at, without really optimizing your ball placement. Like if you're 2 squares back in this exact same formation, the ball's pretty much safe. But because you went here, you're close enough to where the camera can get to you. There's a lot of turns where I move a ball carrier early because if somebody's in danger, I like to move the ball first before making any dice rolls. But I don't count or plan ahead, so I'll put the ball like where this Tomb Guardian is right now. But at the end of my turn, I realized if I had him 1 back, it would have been a much better position because I didn't see through everyone's moves to the end of the turn. So it's definitely a little bit of clairvoyance that you have to plan ahead 3 to 4 players' movements. But regardless, we'll see what Tim and the Orcs can do now. I would not start a turn with a Troll Blitz. I'm not sure it's advisable considering he's not next to anybody for really stupid, but... I mean, you do have a free dodge here with the Gobo. So he can get the ball. You really could have used a knockdown there in that blitzer. You could have, like... I don't know. There's not a lot of great options here for the Orcs. You can't really go downfield with the Strength 4 blitzer being a safety. Going to the middle is not a great option with this Anointed Thrower nearby. You've lost positioning the last couple turns, so you're going to have to probably go backwards here. Alright, Tim guarding the ball. Looks like it might be up to the Gobo to go get it. Look at the little guy go. And his name is Wanna Score. Don't we all, buddy? What else can he do? I suppose you can take the thrower and dodge him at the bottom and send him downfield. Sure, throwing a 1-die block against a block mummy when you don't have block is possible. And you stun him. I'm not sure why he didn't follow, but... I mean, do not throw this block. Like, please, just... Your agility 4, just dodge downfield and kind of give a faint scoring threat. I mean, probably can't get him the ball, but it's something for Pioneer to think about. Looks like Freshman seeing a play on the ball here. You take your Strength 6 Tomb Guardian, blocking Sergeant Major. And then you don't follow. Then you've 1, 2, 3, 4 on the ball, but Pioneer doesn't see it or sees something else. Okay, he wants to clear the blitzer with tackle, which isn't a bad play. Granted, a 3-die on the ball with block against the Gobo is very tempting, but 2-die with tackle is probably just as good. And you get a knockout. And the ball goes to... It's a pretty good spot for the Khemri. Can't get to it this turn, but the only orcs nearby are Agility 3 on the ground, Agility 3 tied up, Agility 2 tied up. I think this is the last stand for the grunts if they can't somehow make something happen this turn. It's probably all over. I don't think he meant to do that, but maybe he did. Interesting. Interesting. Alright. We really need that troll on his feet. I mean, it's 50-50 for the blitz. I mean, it's not exact. Okay, he just stands up on a 50-50. That's pretty convenient. Granted, if you just block the blitzer, you still have a shot on the ball. So how do we get out of this? You still have your blitz. You could take the black orc and, well, I was going to say blitz the blitzer and free up the thrower for your potential score guy eventually. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think you have to double GFI with the black orc and tag the Tomb Guardian Matthew Pritchett the 10th. Also, I might need to tell Einir to stop using the same player names for half his team. I know you're old as dirt, but the 10th and the 4th and the 3rd and the 5th and this, like, no. We need some uniqueness. Especially when it comes to the NFL draft. Because, you know, Khemri are always going to put blitzers and Tomb Guardians into the draft pool. But when they have the same name, just a different number, it kind of just gets annoying. Old bones don't learn new names. I mean, that's probably a saying somewhere in Nehekara. Might be on a stone tablet somewhere deep in the desert. Yep, this is pretty simple play here for Navy. Yeah, swing skull and crossbones around and then force the thrower to dodge through, but or you don't mark him and you just do this first. Whatever. Here's our blitz on the ball. Yep, come from the bottom, roll pushes, and then don't re-roll it for some reason. I mean, you have a 2-die here if you use the bottom skeleton. The push is fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 GFI, which is not great, but... Or you... What? I mean, if anything, you should have blocked with the sidestep and then taken the movement 7 over here. Or you could have just GFI'd with the skeleton, and now you had to use a reroll. Oh, he's got a card he's going to use. Is it like chop block or something? Yep, chop block. Alright. So that's what his play was. The old dirty trick. Chop block. Sacrifices his player to take down the ball carrier. I mean, I think just getting another 2-die on the ball was better, but please tell me that was an accident. Huh. Alright. Alright. Another blitzer knocked out. Push the ball down. Let's see, who's free to go pick it up? 1, 2, 3. Block here, block here. You send Mr. Movement 7 Chris Proctor the 4th downfield to get it. Oh yeah, Dutch is right. We did kind of agree the other day that the person who loses the penultimate McNurgles Chumpionshit series deserves Brown in their name in the chat for a while. Here's our knockdown. So now we have a clear path for Mr. Proctor. And of course he fails to pick up, but still got 2 turns left to go get it. This could be one of those rare games where Navy scores twice, and that does not happen often. I'm not going to go look at their team page, but the last time it happened may have just been their game against TCU last year. Freshman knows the one I'm talking about. Alright, so you could be fancy and do the block on the Black Orc and try to push the anointed throw onto the ball, but you don't need to. Just take the block mummy, block the Black Orc, pick up the ball, run downfield, and let's get out of here. Just block the Black Orc. Please. Alright. We get a good pickup. We get... no. You should have gone as far down as possible to get out of range of the Orc Blitzers, but... You do still have a Blitz. And you could get a second block there. Another KO. Ooh, injury. Definitely Apo that guy. He's close to a 3rd skill. Alright, good doctor. Probably 1, 2, 3. Well, you could do that too, but if you still have the Blitz and you get a follow-up block after that, why would you not use your Blitz there? Don't, oh my god. 1-die blocks, man. I hate them so much. Looks like Navy will get into the end zone for the 2nd time today. And they'll get out of here with a victory, which means they will not be the biggest loser. Navy avoiding eternal shame. For now. Army, unfortunately, gets the infamy. So Einir, Tim, thanks for the entertainment. It was a weird one for sure, but that will actually wrap up this NCBB season. That's all the bowl games. We've already sent out the participation PM. I just sent out the graduate PM. Make sure to get that done. Classify your players. Say a sorry goodbye to anybody who's got to finally leave your program after 4 or 5 long seasons. All right. Thank you for everybody for another great campaign. We're going to be starting up another one soon, and it'll probably be the last one in Blood Bowl 2016, but should be a fun one. Take care, everybody. We'll see you pretty soon, hopefully.